It's a democratic process.
Yes, AlhajI.
Not Olori Jori or
not
Idi.
Talking about parents and wives inheriting a man's property.
Yes.
These days, when you have a legal marriage,
yes,
a man is married to his wife, and everything in that family belongs to the two of them. If the man dies, does the wife not have the right to take over everything?
No. She doesn't. She doesn't have that right to take everything.
What
of the children? What of the children?
Yeah, I mean legal marriage.
Yes, that is under the Act.
Under the Act, yeah.
She has a right because there are ways, but it would also depend too whether the man died testate or intestate. If he died testate, of course, the will is there.
Yeah.
Nobody can contest that, unless they can contest maybe that it is not a valid will. But once it is a valid will, then if the man died without a will, there are also rules and regulations of succession within the Act.
Yes. Okay. Anyway,
once again, sir, but there is no room for will
in Islam.
In Islam. For those who are going to inherit, no will for them, either wife or husband or children, except outside those who are not eligible to inherit.
But Abiola prepared a will.
It's against Islamic contest.
Okay.
Abiola is not an authority in Islam. It's against the Islamic contest.
But what the law is saying is that when a man dies, this is the law of community property. The law of community property states that, like you said, the woman and the man has equal right to whatever they gathered when they got married, excluding gifts and inheritance from their various families. But what they gather together as a family, they have in common. So when the man dies, the woman is expected to manage the resources on behalf or in trust for the issue. It's not that she's inheriting. She is holding the property in trust for the children, and she continues to manage, for these children. So it's not that she's automatically inheriting, But what the law is now saying again is that if the man dies and the woman is keeping in trust for the children, suppose they have no issues, then she's also keeping in trust for the parents. Suppose they don't have parents, like you said, the grandparents.
Yes.
When there are no grandparents, for uncles or aunts. When there are no such, for half brothers or half sisters.
Yes, thank you for
and
that.
Absolutely for herself, if none of these people are existing.
Okay. Thank you, Prince. We'll go on a short break now. When we come back, the discussion continues. Don't go away.
Every day for Niger, as they do break even before Kokoro. Plenty people don't wake up to begin working for Nigeria. Farmers, builders, people income, we did. Teachers, we did. Some they work for office, others na factory. Sports people income, we own the for stadium. Some people own not to sing. Everybody getting on. Niger people know they lazy. They not tired, they don't give up. Come rain, come shine. Country people and them go make country better. Nigeria, great nation.
We were discussing about whether an offspring of a female child can inherit the mother's property. In the Yoruba culture, who has more power over a deceased man's estate? Is it the family or the children? Barrister. Who has more power? The Yorubas will say Ebi and the Omo. Who has more power?
It should be the Omo. It should be the children. Customarily.
Yeah.
Yes. And even under the law, it is usually the children.
Yeah, I know under the law it is the children.
It is the
but
children.
In the Yoruba traditional cultural
but in
way.
the cultural way,
yeah,
it is, I believe it is the children.
Prince.
The barrister is saying it as a belief. This is not a religious matter. In the Yoruba culture and most African traditions, it is the Ebi that has the right over the inheritance. We are not talking of the distribution.
Yeah.
No, they have the general overriding power over the inheritance. They now decide who gets what and why it should be given to a particular person or so. And in that case, in most cases, the issue of primogeniture comes into play. Who is the first child? Who is the second? Who is the first male? Because where there is a male, you don't talk of women in an African society.
Ah.
Yes, you have to consider the males first. You have to give those things that are male to males. You give movable inheritance to females. Like cars, they can drive and the car will get old, with her and damage. But when you talk of landed property, it should be given to male, real estate.
Is that fair to the female
It's
child?
because it belongs to the family. The woman is presumed that the woman will go to her husband's home, and she should not be allowed to take their property that way. And she might even fall in love to the extent that she might decide to give away her family property to her husband.
A new husband now?
Yeah, yes, the husband and the children. So,
or even the concubine?
Or the concubine. So,
Mr. Osheni,
Yes, please.
you have anything to say to that?
Well,
is it the Ebina or the Yomo that has the overriding power?
No, traditionally, it's the children that have the power. The children have the power, but the family must oversee, ensure that there is no crisis.
Okay.
For instance, when the farmer dies and he has a cocoa plantation, the family ensures that it brings the children together and ensures that they have equal distribution so that they will not start fighting among themselves. Because in Little Batisagba, where there's no elderly, in Yoruba land, we value this family head thing. You want to buy land, the family head must be consulted. If you buy land without the consult of the family head, and somebody comes and says it's fake, then it's fake. So the family head will sit with other members of the family to ensure that there's equal distribution among the children.
Okay.
But I still believe that, as for me, the female children